Hi, this is Corey from Queensland Trade Corporation. I'm just going to take some time now to explain to you what a trade dollar is and how it works. Now, a trade dollar is something that's very important to understand if you are going to be taking part in any kind of trade or bartering system. Now, in short, trade dollars are just another currency, specifically used for businesses to trade between themselves. Now, one trade dollar is equal to one Australian dollar. If you're in the US, one US dollar. If you're in Sweden, one Swedish crown. Wherever you are, it's equal to that currency, and just like currency, your only restriction is dealing with those people in the country who accept those dollars. Now, with Australian dollars, you have to deal with Australians. With US people, you have to deal with US dollars. Just like trade dollars, you have to deal with particular members that are within that trade corporation or that trade company. Now, currency is just a form of indirect trade. Now, I'll show you what I mean by that. The difference between indirect trade and direct trade, which still does happen in the marketplace quite a lot, is that direct trade looks something like this. Back in the day, 1 pig equals 5 chickens. Basically, if you had the pig, you're restricted to dealing with people who want a pig and who have 5 chickens. That's why currency was invented, which is indirect trade. And that's what trade dollars are. It's exactly the same as any other currency. And your only restriction is dealing with the people who are members of that certain trade exchange. Now, there is a misconception in the marketplace that a trade dollar is not worth as much as an Australian dollar or a US dollar, whatever it is. Now, here's an example of how a true trade exchange should work and why $1 should equal $1. Now, you've got a hairdresser here. He's got his existing cash clients. They come in whether there's a trade exchange or not. They pay $30 for a haircut. He joins up with a trade exchange, just like Queensland Trade Corporation, let's say, and he does the same thing. He gets clients in, obviously from the trade exchange, and then he charges them $30 for a haircut in trade. Now, they're exactly the same for exactly the same service, which is how it should be run. Everybody wins. Everybody's happy. They've paid equivalent trade as to what it would cost with cash. Now, what has happened in the past, unfortunately, is an example similar to this. A hairdresser, again, has his cash clients there, pay $30 for a haircut, which is exactly the same as example 1, but when he gets trade customers through the door, he charges them $60 for a haircut. Now, this doesn't really make sense, and you're probably thinking that's not very fair, and you're completely right. Why would people do this? Because they don't see the value of trade. The other people in the trade exchange might have done the same thing, so to be able to use his trade correctly, he would have to inflate his prices as well. Unfortunately, that is something that does happen in trade exchanges around the world. Thankfully, not in QTC. We've got a pretty good handle on that. But yeah, this is what it would do to a currency and the trade currency. By inflating it 100%, like the previous example, one trade dollar is now only worth half an Australian dollar, 50 cents, because you have to spend twice as much to get the same thing as you would if you just paid cash for it. And this is a bad thing, and unfortunately, as I've said a couple of times, there have been trade exchanges who have slipped into this kind of system. It might just be a few of their members, it might be most of them. Just make sure you do your research and you're dealing with a good trade exchange like Queensland Trade Corporation. Now, another great question is, what about tax? It's obviously a very important thing, especially for business owners. The rule of thumb is just treat it exactly the same as you would cash income in your business. Now, obviously you want to check this with your accountant, find out some more specific details on how you want trade dollars structured into your business. Again, they're the experts. If you did need an expert opinion, we do have accountants available through QTC. Now, to summarize, trade dollars are just a currency, just like any other currency. They're specifically used for business-to-business transactions between members who are involved with that particular trade exchange. Now, they're of equivalent value to cash, Australian dollars, US dollars, whatever it is, if you are with the right company. Trade services should not be inflated. Obviously, that kind of works in with the above. And trade dollars are considered taxable income. So make sure you do your research and you talk to the right people when it comes to that part of your business. Now, thank you so much for listening. This is Corey Lowe. I'm the Executive Director at Queensland Trade Corporation. If you would like some more useful information on trade and how it all works, please feel free to visit our website www.qldtradecorporation.com.au. Have a great day.